And then we had dinners every single night. We broke for dinner for an hour, hour and a half. And I looked at it as like it was in the 20s when there was in France, in Paris, where they would meet, where all the artists and Coco Chanel and Man Ray and the photographers and all the ballerinas and Nureyev and all these people would meet, and then they would discuss the world, and they would discuss art and people and just gossip and have these like amazing dinner parties. And that's what we did. We had my goddaughter, whose name is Kellyanne, and who has been living with me off and on since she was like 14. She's 38 now. She lives in the cottage. But Kellyanne, you see her, she's the one who walks in, and she's all like in the colored dress. She looks like Tiger Lily. And she cooked. She's the chef, and she cooked every night, 5 days a week, for 10 to 12 people. And we had the best time, because at 7:30 we would break. And we would go and we would sit at the big table and we would eat dinner and we would discuss what we had done and how the songs were coming out and what we wanted to do tomorrow. And then we would go back and work for an hour, and David have a martini. And because he brings his own martini thing with him everywhere he goes. It has to be some perfect special martini. And so every day, I'd get up, and I don't get up early, but I get up a lot earlier than normal. And I'd get up and I'd drink coffee for 2 hours. So he'd come at 3. So I'd wake up at 8 or 9, and I'd drink coffee for 2 hours. And then I would get up and I would do my vocal lesson that I have to do and be finished with 3 hours before I'm going to sing, because that's what I do. And so I would multitask, and I'd get in my jacuzzi for a half an hour, do the vocal lesson in the jacuzzi. So I'm 2 birds with 1 stone. And it would be like 20 to 2. And I know that he's going to be there, any minute. And so I would just be like, I just can't wait for him to get here. And I don't think I've ever in my life experienced that with somebody that I wasn't totally in love with, and planning on having like a life with and children with. And that's not what Dave and I are. Dave and I are just really super good friends, because we met in 1981, 82. So we've been friends for a long time.
Right.
And he and I, you see it in the show, we have a very strong bond because of Annie Lennox and Dave Stewart and Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham. Very similar, he said 5 years, you live together, you break up, you form a band, the band gets famous, and that's what happened to Fleetwood Mac and to the Eurythmics. So because we weren't in a relationship, we could just have the best time. Sometimes being in a relationship just really messes up having the best time. So we just had a ball every single day. And when he'd leave, I'd be sorry. And the next morning, the first thing I'd wake up, I would be like, wow, in a couple hours he's going to come through the door. And we're going to start our magical thing that we're doing. And it was Alice in Wonderland. And I was Alice. And he built Wonderland at my house, in my house, and a sandbox. A magical sandbox for me to totally play in.
It's a great way to put it. Well, it sounds like a bunch of damn hippies in a comedy. But somehow they got it together. Let me just read this, and we're going to take questions from the audience. But there's this passage right at the beginning. You're on the telephone, I think, to Dave. With pneumonia.
The day before the record came out.
And you're seeing a shot of the house. It's the first time we see the house. And there's this line that I just thought was so great. You said, we wanted to make a record that would make people remember why we loved it so. And by the end of the film, I think that you kept that promise. By the end of the film. So I just wanted to bring that up because it is all about the music.
A film that would make everybody, young and old, understand when we always use the sentence back in the day, because it really was so marvelous back in the day. And we did make a couple of records in houses back in the day. We made Belladonna in Bill Cosby's house back in the day. We rented it for a year, and we lived there for a year. And even though we didn't make the whole record there, but we rehearsed for 4 months, me and the girls in Benmont there. and Jimmy was working on Tom Petty's record. And then when we were done rehearsing, we went into the studio, but we stayed living at Bill Cosby's house. And so Bill's house really became a little bit like what we did with Dave. It was a place where the whole of Belladonna was really put together. And it was so much fun. And that is really what I wanted to recreate. And you know, whenever you start these things, you never know if they're really going to go right. But it did go right. And I wasn't thrilled about being filmed every day, I have to tell you. Because that really wasn't in the equation when we started. But Dave films everything. He films everything. And so you're like, when he said, darling, I think we should film this. And I'm like, oh, that means I'm going to have to like sort of dress up a little bit. and no bunny slippers. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
And really, you really have to do your hair, and I mean, you have to make much more of an effort, if you're going to be filmed every day, because you're going to be really sorry at the end of that time when you look like crap every single day. So, it was a lot more of a commitment. But I realized instantly that after 2 days, that we wanted to leave something sacred behind, and we wanted to leave this for all the little rock stars coming up after us. We wanted them to be able to see how we did it.
And I didn't get the impression through the film that you were all that uncomfortable or even conscious of the camera after a while. It just seems like it just had blended into the background, and we got to see the real creative process, which I think is very unusual because it's such a personal thing. To go out and say, hey, I got this idea for a lyric. You're putting yourself out there because the person could look at you and go, that sucks.
Right.
And you don't want to hear that.
Right.
When it's something that's very personal. Okay, let's take some questions from the, yes, this lady right here.
Stevie, my name is Sarah, and I'm here with my dad. And I just wanted to say something real quick before you asked a question to you.
Okay.
I just wanted to let you know that you have brought us together. Him and I travel everywhere to go see you and Fleetwood Mac. We'll actually be at your opening night in Columbus,
We
Ohio.
leave tomorrow at noon.
So I just wanted to say, I was watching you on Masterclass the other night, and something that you said about your mom passing and how you didn't get a chance to, ask her some of the questions that you've gotten to ask her. I just wanted to say I thought that was very important because him and I spend so much time together. This is our thing that we do together, and we've gotten to know each other so much better. And it's our daughter and
I played those crazy Fleetwood Mac records when she was little. But this brings up a great, from 1979 Tusk, Jim Ladd, you interviewed each Fleetwood Mac member. And I still have it on cassette, and I remember the night that Stevie was interviewed. It was so awesome. But my question for you, Stevie, is, having followed you for 35 years and seeing how you look sitting in that chair, gorgeous, radiant, tell us maybe 2 of your secrets.
It's undeniable. She's still hot. Come on. The woman is hot.
I stopped laying in the sun at 30, and I don't ever go in the sun. But I'm always going on vacations to places where there's sun and aqua water, and then people say to me, why do you do that? Why don't you just go to the snow or something? Because you never go out in the sun. But it's it's like it makes all the difference. So that's my biggest beauty secret is really you have to stay out of the sun, and most people don't want to do that. But when you're 65, you'll be sorry.
That was really nice what you said. Give him a hand, please. Thank you for making our first question a good one. That was very good.
She's little.
Okay, do you have a question for Stevie? Go ahead.
Of course you can.
Come on up.
Oh, cute.
Thank you so much.
And your little t-shirt. So would you like to tell us what your name is in the mic?
Dakota.
Love it. Love it. It's so nice to meet you, sweetheart.
Thank
Do you love music? Well, you keep listening because music keeps you young and happy. Okay?
Give Dakota a big hand. I love Stevie. Cool. Yes.
Hi, Ms. Nix.
What's your name?
My name's Anna.
Hi, Anna.
Hi. I was just wondering, on the video submissions from the fans, will we see any others you might have liked in the DVD release of this?
Very possible. There was many fantastic things that came in. And you know what, though, I mean, really, Dave's team edited it from January to December, edited that down to 3 hours, and then his editor and my assistant and I edited it from 3 hours to 1:40. And I mean, it was just horrific to do. It was so hard. So we would have loved to have just put, you know, many more of those videos of people that sent in and did 2-minute things, but we couldn't, you know. It's so the two that we got in were the only ones that would fit. But yes, absolutely, and we're gonna edit them and put them all together because they're all great. It's just that those two were the ones that seemed to fit, you know, what we were saying, because so much had to come out.
Great, thank you.
That is kind of the hard part of doing this is, I know, I got it. Sorry.
Dakota's picture.
Yeah, I'll be hearing about this for the next year and a half. Hold it so I don't want to try. Editing is hard because the audience will never know what was left out, but you're going to carry that around for your whole life. All right, who else has got a question? Yes, right? This lady right here.
Hi, my name's Jamie, and I just wanted to ask, I read recently that you enjoy the Game of Thrones series.
Oh,
Who doesn't? What character on that series, as far as right now goes, do you identify with the most?
Daenerys.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I figured that, but, you know, had to ask.
And sometimes Dracarys, her little dragon.
I didn't know they had names yet.
Oh yeah, the one that set the guy on fire.
Oh, that one.
They all
I
moved away.
love it.
I love it too.
I'm gonna write music for it. I mean, they'll never use it, but
Yeah, well,
I
read
love it so much
you
that
started
I'm
writing-
ready to.
You started writing some poetry for it, I read?
I've written a bunch of poetry about it,
Cool.
about all the different characters.
All right. Can't wait to hear it.
Thank you. You too.
Yes, over here. This lady over here. Stand up, tell us your name. You'll be next.
I've been listening to you for like a whole year now. Every single day. And I was just kind of wondering if I could actually get your autograph.
Absolutely. Can we do that at the end of this?
Yes.
We'll do it. Yes.
Thank you.
And to kind of move this along, because we want to give as many people a chance to ask Stevie a question. When I call on you, just kind of have your question ready and not a lot of history too, because we all know we love her. Yes. You.
Yes, okay.
Yes.
Your collaboration with Dave Grohl and with Dave Stewart were fantastic. When I saw you at the Grammy Museum, you said that you were looking forward to doing a collaboration, possibly, or doing something with Lyle Lovett.
It hasn't happened yet, but it will. It seems like a lot of wonderful. I'm in like, you know, I'm in the Foo Fighters. I'm in the Sound City Players. I'm in my own band. I'm in Lady Antebellum. I'm in Fleetwood Mac, and I'm in Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. I'm in 6 bands. So it's like, you know, I mean, I'm very open, especially now in my life. It's like I'm to the point where it's like now everything that I do is all about the experience, and so I'm learning to multitask, and I want it, you know, I'm really happy to be a part of any music people that really want to work with me, because amazing things happen. And, you know, so I don't turn very many things down. If I have the time, I'm really open to doing that. So Lyle and I will find each other at some point.
You know, speaking of that, I think you ought to consider a country album, because that little bit that you do with Red River Valley, hell man.
Well, wait till you hear my Crossroads with Lady Antebellum.
Cool. Looking forward to it. Yes, sir.
Hi, I'm Gary, and he took my question about a country album. But I was wondering what your song "Beautiful Child" was about. I've always wondered that.
Beautiful Child was about a relationship I had with the royal road manager of the Beatles, whose name was Derek Taylor, and it didn't last very long because he was married, but it affected me very much because he told me so many stories about the Beatles and so many stories about, everybody has your road manager. We had JC, crazy JC, the Led Zeppelin had Peter Grant. It's like, the road managers are the ones who know everything. And so I learned so much from him about the whole world of the Beatles that it was stunning. And so that's where Beautiful Child came from.
Thank you.
All right. Hi, what's your name?
I'm Meredith.
Hi, Meredith.
Hi. I just watched you on Masterclass, and I've been a fan of it since I was like 13 or 14. I'm 43 now. And I just...
No, you don't. She stays out of the sun.
And I lost my best friend to cancer 4 years ago. And I want to say thank you so much for sharing
Robin.
so much. It's been, I never wanted to have that in common with you. But it was so much for me to know that you knew that, and you shared it with everyone. And there was a lot of shame that went through getting over that grief and being embarrassed by being sad for so long. But watching you and knowing that you could get through it, she was like my sister.
Right.
And I'm an only child, so it was really important. And to watch you share that, to take that moment to share that with all of us, I thought that was really, really important, that people can get past grief.
Well, because people tend to say to you, you need to move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like, you need to get out of my room. You obviously don't get it. It's like, Robin died in 1981. I'll never get over it.
I know.
Never.
I know.
So you have to, that's the way it is. You can't ever get over that. And you just have to accept it and try to remember the really great experiences that you guys had. And know that,
For watching you.
and thank you, and that doesn't happen to everybody.
No.
So it's a very
As a woman,
unique,
it's really important.
specific experience.
Thank you for sharing.
And you'll be okay. And she's there on your shoulder.
It's very nice. Very nice. I don't know you, but I can tell that this friend of yours, this lady, obviously had a very good friend in you. So it must have been good for her to have you in her life. Yeah. All right, who else is next? Yes, sir.
I am Philip, and I was just wondering, from all of your different records and all your work and all your amazing songs, what was your greatest inspiration from this whole process and this record?
Really, Dave Stewart was my greatest inspiration. He was so inspirational to me every day. You probably saw it in the movie, never a harsh word. Never, I never wrote a song with anybody in my life. And Dave could just read my face, If he started to play some chords that I wasn't crazy about and I started to frown, he just went like, let's go another way. So I never had to say to him, I'm like really embarrassed about this, Dave, but I hate it. So we never got there. Everything just was like, he would see it in my face before it ever came out of my mouth. And that was really brilliant because, I argue with everybody in Fleetwood Mac all the time, and it's just one big argument, and it was, making rumors was not fun. And if Fleetwood Mac was all sitting here right now, they'd say to you, it was not fun. It was a beautiful record, and everybody loves it, and that's great, but it was not a fun record to make. So this record was like full of grace. So this was the most inspired thing I have ever done.
In the back.
In the back. Who's that? All right, you in the back.
Hi, I'm a huge fan. I love your first album, Buckingham Mix. And can you please tell me it's going to be available on CD?
It's the 40th anniversary this year. So it's 73, 2015. We really are trying to put it out. It's you know, I can't even tell you why it isn't out yet. It's like it's kind of owned by me and Lindsay and a little bit by our producer at that point. It's like owning a 57 Chevy together with 3 people. And one year, one person says, let's sell it. And the other 2 are like, no way. And then the next year, that person goes, let's not sell it. And the other person are going, yeah, let's sell it. And that's kind of what's gone on all these years. So we are going to try to get it out. If not this year, next year. I'm hoping this year because it is the 40th, and the 41st is not going to be as cool.
All right, we got time, honest to God, for one more last question.
Stevie, right here.
Go right ahead.
Okay.
There you go.
Talk loud.
Talk loud.
Well, oh my god. Okay, well, I'm a singer, and you're just such a huge inspiration for everyone. And I was wondering what advice you had for me.
How old are you?
I'm 11.
Well, I have to tell you, what is your name?
Annika.
Annika, that's a beautiful name. Well, so, little A, you know what? You just have to believe in yourself. I was singing when I was your age, and I didn't care if anybody liked it or not. And I was, what grade are you in? 5th? I started really singing in the 4th grade. And I can remember driving around with my parents, and I personally sang R&B Top 40, which was so weird to my parents because they were country people, and my granddad was a country singer, and I'm singing like all R&B, soul. So, and I'm in the back seat singing, and they're like talking, and I'm like, hey, you up there, can you just like quiet down? Because I'm singing. And I need to have some peace here while I'm singing along with Diana Ross, you know. So what you have to do is you have to have a big attitude and a big spirit, and you have to listen to records, and you have to listen to all your favorite people and sing along with them and learn all the parts and learn all the harmonies, because if you believe, like Oprah says, our goddess of love, if you believe in yourself, everyone else will too.
That is a perfect place to leave it. Stevie Nicks. Stevie Nicks. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you for watching my movie, everyone. Thank you so much, and happy Easter.